So hey y'all, I hope you're doing good. Today we're going to do one of my most requested video, which is about how to prevent your kohl pencils from smudging. Now I know that this is something which we face on a day-to-day basis where we use a kohl pencil and it just constantly smudges and it's just the most annoying thing ever. Now as we go along with this topic, I'm going to show you my 5-step method to stop your kohl from smudging. So let's start off. So for the first step, we're back to the basics where we have to talk about the under eye prep. Now, if you're going to use a lot of thicker oils like facial oils and everything, it is definitely going to make your kajal to run down. So it's better to always go in with a product which is a much more of a cream or a gel consistency. That way you do get your under eye hydration without it affecting your kohl pencils. So we're just going to pat a little under eye cream and do not take it way too high. And if you are, make sure that it's going to be well absorbed into the skin before we go on to the next step. So the second step is going to be about your concealer. Now always remember that your makeup products can break down when it comes in contact to oil. So if your concealers have too much of oil in them, it is definitely going to affect the long time of your kajal and your kajal is going to start running down into your skin. So now it's important on how we choose the concealer. So make sure that you're using a concealer which does not really feel very oily or greasy on your skin. And ensure that you use very less amount of concealer. That way the excess concealer does not break down your kohl pencils. So I'm going to be using the LA Girl Pro Concealer in the shade Pure Beige. Now this is just a concealer which I really like to use and it works well for my skin. So I'm just going to go with a tiny bit of it in the areas where I actually need some coverage, which is right over here for me mainly. So first thing is to make sure that you're using less concealer, and the second thing is to make sure that you don't take your concealer very close to your lower waterline, because that is where you're going to have your kajal. You could probably have it along the lash line or just inside the waterline like how I do. So you need to make sure that you properly apply your product, because anyways the area which is around the eye, which is your waterline and your lower lash line, is going to have a kajal, and kajals are opaque. You do not really need to have a concealer under that. So you can always make sure that your concealer lies in the area where you wouldn't have your kajal, which is your dark circles, which is under the eye. So you can just lightly blend and pat your product into the skin. So for the third step, we're going to move into selecting the kohl pencil. Now this is a very crucial, important step. And for doing that, I'm just going to do a hand swatch here. That way we can do a couple of comparisons to understand what would work better for a given situation. So for the first one, we have the Lakme Eyeconic Insta Kohl Kajal. The second one is the Faces Ultime Pro Intense Gel Kajal. For the third one, we have the Maybelline Colossal Kajal. The fourth one is the Plum I Swear by Kohl Kajal. The fifth one is the Sugar Stroke of Genius Heavy Duty Kajal. And the sixth one is the Faces Fresh Eyes Kajal. The seventh one is the Plum Nature Studio All Day Wear Kohl Kajal. And for the last one, we have the Lakme Absolute Kohl Ultimate Kajal. So now I'm just going to try smudging each and every one out. The first one doesn't dry. And the second one is also not a very smudgy formula. The third one is definitely smudge proof. The fourth one is also smudge proof. The fifth one smudges quite a lot. Sixth one is also pretty smudgy. Seventh one is slightly smudgy, and so is the eighth one, which is very smudgy. So from the kohl pencils which we spoke about, I've chosen the Plum I Swear by Kohl Kajal. Now this one works really well if you want your kohl to remain just in place. So I'm just gonna apply my kohl like how I always do. I do have a little bit of it in my waterline from the morning and I'm not really able to take it off. So after this, so if you see this kohl pencil, it's pretty smudge proof, and when you saw on the hand it was completely smudge proof, but when you see on the skin it does smudge a little. Now this is mainly because of my skincare, which is my under eye cream, and it's also because of the concealer which we've used. So it's essential that we be a little more careful on the products which we pick as we go ahead with the process. Now here's another experiment for you. I'm just going to apply some foundation on my skin. So picking up the smudge proof kajal. So once you've given this a second to dry, you can see that even a smudge proof kajal, when it's applied on a foundation which is not set, is definitely going to smudge. So I'm just going to use the Makeup Revolution banana powder, and this is going to help you to set your skin and also make it completely matte. Even if you're doing a dewy base, make sure that you set this entire area which comes in contact with the kohl pencil. That way your kohl pencils do not break down the entire day. Now this is super crucial because all of your concealers and your foundations will have some form of, hydrating things, or it could be anything like an oil or a cream. So that is definitely going to break down your kohl pencils, even if it is a smudge proof kohl pencil. So ensure that this area is completely set to avoid any of your kohl pencils from breaking down. So once you're done with step number 4, you would see that it's going to make a drastic difference with your entire kohl pencil game. But let's say that you still feel that it is slightly smudging, or let's say that your kohl pencil is not very smudge proof like the one I used, then you can move on to step number 5, which is to use a black eyeshadow to set your kohl pencil. Now this is literally what we did with the concealer. So for the concealer, I used a setting powder to set my concealer. So now we're just going to set our kohl pencil with something like a setting powder but black in color, which is an eyeshadow. So using a wing liner brush and patting the black eyeshadow onto my eye. You can also do this with a small pencil brush and slightly just blend that into your kohl pencil. That is automatically going to make that entire area remain matte, and it will keep it in place all day long. So those were my 5 steps to ensure that your kohl does not smudge all throughout the day, and I hope you all tried this one out. So I hope you all found this video helpful, and give me a big thumbs up if it did, and let me know whether it worked down in the comment section below. Do try it out a couple of times, that way you get the techniques right, and place the brushes in the right place. That way you can get rid of any oiliness on the skin. So I hope you all enjoyed this one, and stay tuned for more. Until next time, bye bye.